Hello everyone, this is APO Sports, and today we continue our projections. So the 2025 Indiana Fever projections, and again, you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. We're talking about newcomer, DeWanna Bonner. So DeWanna Bonner, this is when we knew. This is when we knew that the Fever were for real. I mean, this is it. Not just for real, but we were like, oh, we can get someone like DeWanna Bonner. And the signing, because we signed Natasha Howard, and of course that was huge, that was big for the team, that was validation as far as like people do want to come play for the Fever and for Caitlin Clark, and regardless of the fans or whatever. And of course there were tweets that were later unearthed after DeWanna Bonner was signed, but the tweets were all about there's no way Bonner goes over. There's no way no players want to go to the Fever. And, of course, Cheryl Swoops also kind of alluding to the fact that no player wants to play in Indiana, and even suggesting that Aaliyah Boston may be unhappy with the situation there. All of these crazy things. And then, boom, the Fever sign Natasha Howard. And then, boom, the Fever sign free agent, right? It's not like a trade or forced anyone to be there. Free agent DeWanna Bonner, who is an amazing player, a Hall of Famer. I mean, she'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer right now, right? But she has to wait for eligibility as she still plays, and whenever she decides that she doesn't want to play anymore, this is a champion, right? She's been what was it a 3-time, I believe, the nope. So yeah, so she's a 2-time WNBA champion, 6-time All-Star. She was even the 2015 All Defensive Team, 2-time All WNBA, 1-time First Team All WNBA, 3-time Sixth Woman of six, because 6 Men of the Year is in the NBA. 6 Woman of the Year it just sounds, I don't get used to it, but 6 Player of the Year. The 3 seasons where she was a bench player, she won the 6th Player of the Year award. So we're talking about someone who's been in MVP conversations for her entire career. She's been an All-Star. I mean, what the Fever got here was a crazy, amazing player. Now she is nearing or close to reaching the tail end, or she's in the tail end of her career. So of course we're not expecting to get 2015 DeWanna Bonner, to even 2020 DeWanna Bonner, where she averaged 20 points per game, or close to 20 points per game, but someone who throughout her career has been in big time games, right? Big time playoff games, big time finals games, big time conference games, like what is it? Conference finals, whatever the equivalent in the WNBA is. She's been in those type of games with everything on the line. So, and for the Fever team to learn from someone like DeWanna Bonner is incredible. I mean, tremendous value, even if maybe her stats or performance lowers a little bit. The value that they gain from being around players like those veteran players that they brought, like Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, Sydney Colson, even Damaris Dantas to an extent, who still remains on the team. It's just highly valuable. The perfect mix of veteran and new players. It's amazing. So I mean, this was a plus signing for the Fever, and of course, my projection is that she's a starter, right? Like, how is she not a starter? So, with that, let's try to do some of these projections. Okay, here we go. So, the first stat that we're going to go over, as always, is minutes per game. So, what do we expect minutes per game for DeWanna Bonner? So, the last time she played less than 30 minutes per game in a season was back in 2014. So we got to go all the way back to 2014 to find a season where she played less than 30 minutes per game. I believe last season she played, or the last 2 seasons in Connecticut, I believe she played so many minutes because that team lacked scoring firepower. It just really did, right? So I believe Stephanie White had to do what she could. And an interesting dynamic happens with that Connecticut Sun that no team can figure out how to really guard Elisa Thomas. She confuses the hell out of defenses. And to me, it's a really simple approach. Easier said than done, right? Me over here watching from on TV saying what I think how Elisa Thomas should be guarded, but she gets so much more respect for her scoring ability when really her superpower is basketball IQ and distribution of the basketball. She's lethal in recognizing like she's a super smart player and she'll tear you apart if you guard her like she's DeWanna Bonner. And that's how people do. People guard her like she's DeWanna Bonner. You can't do that. Because she'll kill you. But people haven't figured that out. That's for them to figure that out at another time. But the Connecticut Sun, for most of last season, had one elite scorer, and that was DeWanna Bonner, and that's it. They gathered a second one, second half of the season, in Marina Mabry, who became their secondary lethal scorer. But they really had one player that could score at will, whenever they wanted, whenever she wanted. So I believe because of those limitations of the Connecticut Sun, she had to see more minutes on the basketball court. That's just what it was. Those scoring limitations do not exist and will not exist in the 2025 version of the Indiana Fever. So those minutes, I believe, will go down because she's not going to be as needed to do all of those things. And I think she, with more rest in the game, she'll be more rested, and I think her numbers will go up. As far as the shooting percentages, the field goal percentages, the turnovers and things like that will go down if she can rest, a decent amount of time and not play as many minutes. So I actually think she may play about, and she's 30, what is it, 37? She's 37 years old. She will turn 38 during the regular season. I just don't think you should be continuing to add those mileage, especially not during the regular season. Maybe you amp up the numbers during the playoffs, but you want a fresh DeWanna Bonner. You want to prevent injury. So why give her such a huge workload? So let's reduce that workload quite a bit. Let's go. How many do we give Howard? We gave Howard 28. I'm gonna give Bonner about 25.8. Actually, 26. Let's just make it 26. Why am I being cute with 25.8 and shit like that? So for field goal attempts, let's see. She averages for her career 12 field goal attempts for her career. Throughout her career. I think that's going to be low. So last year again, 12.8, even with the huge responsibility and scoring limitations that the Connecticut Sun had. She still took not that many in comparison to all these other players. So she took 12.8. I think with reduced minutes, surrounded by scores all over the place, she'll probably take, I want to say, 11 field goal attempts per game. I think that would be good if she can do that. Reducing that also increases the quality of the shots that she takes. So, of course, field goal percentage naturally will go up. Last year, these were actually, so 41.5 were actually her career field goal percentage numbers. So she averages 41.6. Her best field goal percentage year ever was 2010 in Phoenix for the Mercury, when she was utilized in that bench role. So I'm sure she wasn't dependent upon to score that much. And it was also the year in which she had the highest 3-point percentage, which was 36% from three. I think she's going to be seeing close to those numbers once again. So her highest was 46% from the field. I think that's what it is. That's what I'm going to go with. 46% from the field goal, from field goal percentage overall. 3-point attempts. So she averages for her career about 4. So if we're saying 11 field goal attempts, and if we go by last year, 4 3-point attempts per game, 3-point shooting percentage. This is where it's been low for her career. She's a career 30% 3-point shooter per game. But like I said, I'm sure she had to create her own 3-point shots because she was the main focus on the defense as far as stopping DeWanna Bonner. I keep saying it. The quality of her shots are going to go through the roof. She's going to be amazed at the quality that, that she gets, even after playing with someone like Alyssa Thomas, who's a mastermind and a great distributor. I just think, and that's just a compliment to Alyssa Thomas because she was, she's still able to find players with the limitations that they have. Imagine if Alyssa Thomas played on this Indiana Fever team. Oh my God. But anyway, we're not talking about Alyssa Thomas. We're talking about DeWanna Bonner and 3-point percentages, which I think is going to go back to those, her 2010 Phoenix Mercury days. And she's going to shoot about 35% from 3, which is great. Free throw attempts for her career, 4.3. Free throw attempts per game. Last year, 3.6. So that tells me that it's going to be maybe 3 free throw attempts per game. She's an average. She's a lethal free throw shooter. Here's another thing that I just discovered. There was a Phoenix team during the playoffs. Yeah, so during the 2014 WNBA playoff run for the Phoenix Mercury, and this when I saw this, because I've never seen any NBA team pull numbers like this. This just tells you, and this just highlights the skill level of women's basketball as far as, this is, and I'm going back to 2014, right? And I'm sure, and just because I stumbled upon this statistic, and I was looking for it. I'm sure if I look more, I'll find similar stuff like this. But the high rate of free throw accuracy during the 2014 Phoenix Mercury run was insane. Check this out. So for the entirety of the playoffs, DeWanna Bonner was a 90, and with high pressure situation, this is high pressure playoff do or die games. DeWanna Bonner was 90% from the free throw line. Candice Dupree, I don't know who that is, 90% from the free throw line. Diana Taurasi, we all know who that is. She was 85% from the free throw line, still high, for as many free throws as she took. Brittany Griner, yes, Brittany Griner took 3.6 free throw attempts in 2014, 92% from the free throw line. 92%. Another player, Penny Taylor. This is the Phoenix Mercury team. They won the title that year, but this is playoff numbers. I don't know who Penny Taylor is, who she was, what she did. All I know about Penny Taylor is that she shot 90% from the free throw line in that 2014 Phoenix Mercury playoff run. This is playoff, and not even one. It's 8 games. Another player, Aaron Phillips, came off the bench, shot 1,000% from the free throw line. Oh, and did I mention DeWanna Bonner? Yeah, 90% from the free throw line. Dupree, 90% from the free throw line. Taurasi, 85% from the free throw line. Griner, 92%. Taylor, 90%. And Phillips, 1,000%. Like, you can foul this team. Like, how do you foul them? And you'd be like, oh, you know what I mean? Anyway, I just thought I'd share that because I couldn't believe it. Also, one cool thing that Basketball Reference did here, if you go to DeWanna Bonner's Basketball Reference page, like main page, where it shows like her entire career, there's a note in 2017 where there's no stats because she didn't play, but it says did not play, and in parentheses maternity twins with an exclamation point. I thought that was just amazing, and another reason why I just love Basketball Reference so much. But we continue. Oh man, I went way off track with this. With this free throw percentage thing. Free throw percentage 85.7. She was 83 this year. That's gonna way up. I think I want to give her 87% from the free throw line. Total rebounds for her career, 6 rebounds per game, but less minutes, a lot less minutes. We're talking about 5 or 6 less minutes than last year, so 5 rebounds per game. Assist, so she averages. She's not what you call a distributor, right? That's not her thing. She's going to score. That's it. I'm here to score. That's what I'm here to do. Give me the damn ball because I'm here to score. Last year, 2 assists on the dot. Here, I just think she'll have more opportunities to, to look for the open person. Like, say for example, they blitz Kaylin Clark at the top of the key, or they blitz her as soon as she crosses half court. Then maybe the first person that she can give the ball to is DeWanna Bonner, who is now going to be facing a 4-on-3 situation, finding another open person and just punishing the defense in that way. So she'll have more opportunities. So I'll keep it at 2 assists per game, even though she's gonna have 6 less minutes. Steals, so she can steal it, and this number 1.2 is pretty much the her average. So that's what her average for her career is. So let's go with 1 steal per game due to the less 6 minutes less blocks. So again, like last year, it seems like everything that she did was on par with her career numbers, because she is a 0.7 career. That's what she averages for her per game for her career. So just a little bit less because minutes, turnovers almost on par again with her turnovers for her career. Her career is 1.6 turnovers per game. Here she did 1.4, so less 1.2. And points. Okay, here's the interesting mathematics. Always throws me off. So let's see, 11 field goal attempts, 46% from the field. 4 3-point attempts, 35% from the field. Yeah, so I think she's going to average about 13.5 points per game based on that, give or take, whatever you want. And then usage percentage. So for her career, 23 usage rate for her career. So again, 22.9 being on par with her career, but her role there was she had to be used this much. If we assume that her role is going to be more like 2014 or 2011 seasons in Phoenix, then I think that's what it is. So I'm gonna say 18.1 usage rate percentage, just because she's not gonna be the focal point. And okay, offensive rating. This is gonna be the interesting thing for me to see. Her highest offensive rating ever was actually when she played a role as a role player with Phoenix. Again, 117 was the highest. I am willing to challenge that this year with the Fever. I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to say she's going to have the best offensive rating of her entire career. Yes, the Hall of Fame legendary career of DeWanna Bonner. This year, she's going to surpass her best offensive rating season ever. That's my bold prediction. Her lowest defensive rating ever was actually not last season. Her first or her second year with Connecticut. Those Connecticut teams were crazy, crazy defense. It was a 92 in 2021. Last year, like you said, 96. So very strong defensive rating numbers. Now the question is whether or not Stephanie White is going to be able to replicate even a fraction of what she did with the Sun, and I believe that she can. What is her rating? And her highest rating ever was in 2010, 109 defensive rating. I mean, as far as high as where she did the worst. So I don't think it's going to be anywhere near close to that. I'm going to play it safe and say 100, but I have a hunch that it's going to be lower than that. All right, awards. This is always the tough one. Because if you leave it up to me, I'll make the whole team an all-star. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's an all-star. So you can't leave this shit up to me. But I guess we are. I am leaving it up to myself. And I don't think she cracks the MVP voting this year. Um, I just don't think so. Because I'm reserving that for other Fever players. And that's just what I'm doing, right? So I gotta keep it honest and can't go crazy and say she could be playing at an MVP level, but won't be recognized as an MVP. But I do predict she's gonna be an all-star. I do predict that whatever the 5 players on the Fever that average the most minutes per game are all gonna be all-stars this year. Whoever those are. And I word it that way because it could be a bench player. Look at me planting that seed. Um, so whoever averages the 5 players that average the most minutes per game this year for the Indiana Fever will be 2025 WNBA All Stars. Not starters necessarily, but they'll be All Stars. They'll be right there. They'll be right there. Gamefield, what is it? Gamefield Fieldhouse? What is it? Gamebridge. Gamebridge Fieldhouse. So no MVP, but she'll be an all-star. She'll be an all-star. What else could we give her? Maybe. I don't know. I think that's it. So not most improved. I don't think she'll get any defensive. I mean, she's a good defender, but not the level that she was in 2015 when she was when she made the all defensive team. She won't crack any WNBA all WNBA teams. No MVP voting. She's gonna be an all-star. With almost started singing that song that I don't think I should be singing. But that's yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, so yeah, those are my predictions for what DeWanna Bonner's 2025 season is going to look like. Highly effective player. She's gonna fall more into a role player type of a role type of expectations with this Indiana Fever team, but that's great. That's awesome. You have a Kevin Durant type player filling a certain role, which is score when needed or whenever, she's an amazing player to have whenever possessions are, kind of breaking apart and you can just give her the ball and let's see what you can come up with. Let's see what you can do. So it's always great to have a player that can do that you can do that with. An additional threat who provides a bunch of size. And what she allows the Fever to do is get creative with a bunch of different lineups because of her size. So you're gonna have such a dynamic team that you can use Bonner in many different ways. So I think, yeah, I just think she's gonna be amazing for this team. She's gonna be another catalyst as to why this team overperforms. And I keep saying it in every video that I make, and I keep getting even more excited every single day for the season to start. But I can't wait to see how it all works out for the team and for all the players involved. So it's going to be a great season, and I'm going to be here every step of the way. I may have something new and crazy in the works. I think I developed. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil it now, but I developed something potentially groundbreaking in the world of basketball and beyond. But I'll leave it at that. Just that teaser for now. I should be rolling everything with what I just talked about. I'll be breaking that, unveiling everything next week. And that's pretty much what I'll be using when I do my breakdowns and everything. It's going to be this new system that I created. But I'll get to that and explaining everything like that next week after I finish up all the projections. So lots of Indiana content, Fever to come, and even some Lakers content to come to once the playoffs start in the NBA. So if you're interested in stuff like that, if you really want, no kidding, some smart and intelligent analysis as to the game of basketball, because I'm about to change the game, you have to, you know, before I'm like, yeah, kind of shy about it, but I think now, I'm telling you, I think you have to subscribe to my channel. I think you don't want to miss this at all whatsoever. So, but anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.